Hey guys, so we are going to start our next kind of unit or topic, I guess, and it is going to be based on area and perimeter and all that fun stuff. So a lot of this is probably review for you guys, which is a good thing. So we're going to go ahead and start with area of a rectangle, and then we'll build off of that eventually. But for starters, what is the area of a shape? We can define the area of a shape as the space occupied by a flat shape or surface. Sorry, my handwriting is pretty bad right now. Okay, so basically it's like the amount of space on a sheet of paper or the amount of space on a table, that kind of thing. When we are representing the units of area, we always have to use units squared. Units squared. So literally a little square there. So for example, if we were talking about a table and the table was being measured in feet, you would say feet squared. If you were talking about a footstool and you wanted to talk about inches, you would say inches squared, centimeters squared. Anything it is, it's just going to be squared. If there is no unit at all, you're always welcome to just use unit squared. That's good practice. Okay, so that's really important. Without your units, your area is nothing but a number. So it's going to be really important that whenever you guys calculate an area, you keep that in mind. All right, so for starting, if we wanted to find the area of this rectangle, meaning this shaded space, we can always, if like it's on a grid, right, we can always count. If you look over here, it's like a little key. One square is a 1 by 1 piece. So this is 1 square centimeter. So basically what we want to find out is how many square centimeters are in this rectangle. Well, you would probably say, well, we can just count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can say that that rectangle is 12 centimeters squared. Okay, and how did we do that? Well, we literally counted the squares. Okay, that's always an option. If your shape is on a grid, you are welcome to count the squares. Okay, it just might get a little questionable if, let's say you had a shape like this or something where it's not very nice on the grid, but for rectangles, it's always an option. Okay, however, let's say you have a huge shape, huge surface, and you're like, gosh, ain't nobody got time to count all them squares. Luckily, we don't have to, right? What we can do is follow a simple formula that pretty much counts the imaginary squares for us if we don't have any. And not to mention, when you're in real life and you're trying to find areas, there's not going to be grids for you to even count on most of the time. So when you're calculating area, you can always do length times width. Okay, and if you look at this rectangle up here, if we followed that, we would know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there was 6 for the length here, and there were two of these rows, that's going to be our width, and 6 times 2 also equals 12, right? It's like a faster way to count, and sure enough, we got the same answer. So let's do some practice problems. All right, so if we had a rectangle and right here the length and width are 7 and 3, well, we're just going to go ahead and do 7 times 3. I'm actually going to use the dot. I like the dot better. Equals 21. So remember, your final answer isn't 21 though. We don't like floating numbers. It's 21 feet squared. That is important. You can actually lose credit if you do not properly label the units on your shapes. Okay, for the next one, we have 12 and 5.3 as the length and width. So we just got to do 12 times 5.3, and that's going to give us 63.6. You're welcome to use your calculator for funky numbers or any numbers. Oh, I'm starting to write feet. It's actually meters. So I'm going to remember to do my squared units. If you do not put that squared there, it's no longer an area. It's just a length, and that's not what we want. All right, another one. We got 4 times 2.6, right? Because we got a length of 2.6 and a width of 4. It doesn't really matter which one you call width and which one you call length. What matters is that you multiply those two numbers. Right, and that's going to give us 10.4. It's okay to use decimals. We do not live in a perfect world. All right, notice how I'm keeping my units squared there. And one more. This is a square. Fun fact, squares are also a type of rectangle. That's something we'll learn about later. 7.5 times 7.5. So that's going to give us an answer of 56.25. I haven't written on this thing in like a while, and suddenly my handwriting just went to trash. All right, and that is it. That is how you calculate the area of any rectangle or square.